Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far as Aix officially retires from professional Call of Duty and confirms what his next chapter is going to be. Scump's talking about his poor performance at the Kickoff Classic, what exactly caused it, and how he's going to repay OpTic fans for the rest of the year. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, even hit the notification bell if you want to. Pretty sure there used to be about 10% of my subscribers that had the notification bell on. Now it's like 9.4%. So maybe some of the new subscribers are slacking off a bit. If you want to join the crew, feel free to do so. First of all, this from Sledgehammer Games, changes have been made to Fortified. This, of course, was a big concern really last weekend. The fact that the glide bombs, for some reason, don't kill you if you've got flak jacket on, which is called Fortified, I guess, in this game. Now, in fairness, I do remember back in the Black Ops 2 days, a Hellstorm missile, right? So basically a Predator missile, like a massive thing that would come down from the sky. If you didn't, like, burst it into the multiple rockets that can come out of it, if you pretty much direct impacted someone with a Hellstorm, like, it wouldn't even kill them if they had flak jacket on. So it's kind of the same thing here with the glide bomb, but of course, really, it should be a one-hit kill. Now, I mean, still, they have thankfully now finally fixed that. That was a bit of a concern at the Kickoff Classic. Now, still, there have been some concerns about this. Doesn't really seem like anything can be changed without some people complaining. As Exceed says right here, why is the glide bomb now back to a one-hit kill if it's still only 5 instead of 7? So there has been an issue, right? They want it to be 7 kill streak, the pros do and the amateurs do, but for some reason in the CDL rules right now that they're playing on, it's only 5 instead of 7. It should be 7. I think they'll change it at some point or another. Now, still, even a 5 kill streak for like a guaranteed kill, I don't really think it's too much of a big deal, just because the glide bomb really does take you out of the game. It's not like you just throw a hunter-killer drone out back in the Black Ops 2 days. Like, you have to sit there for a fair few seconds. Takes quite a long time to come in, and especially in Search and Destroy, I'm sure it's very good, and I guess in the respawns as well, it can be viable for sure, but still, I don't really think too much of an issue. Frankly, it's just better it's a one-hit kill than it doesn't kill anyone at all, because genuinely at the kickoff, it was like, do I even want to use this glide bomb? Like, it actually might be detrimental, because yes, I get someone a little bit weak, but I have to sit here for like 5-10 seconds on the other side of the map while my teammates try and break the hill 3v4. So always an interesting question. They have, I guess, thankfully fixed that nowadays. A couple of things to talk about on the Scrim recap front, because I thought this was very interesting, frankly. Yesterday we saw that Boston had lost to, well, they'd lost to London, right, 5-1 in that Scrim set. Of course, look, it's Scrims at the end of the day. They play Los Angeles Guerrillas, they beat them 4-2. Definitely this Gavato 250-61 was pretty dominant. Maybe that's going to be a perma veto for the LAG guys, I guess we'll see. 2 of the maps go their way though, especially the Bocage, which was quite interesting, just because, you know, Boston are very good at Bocage, or at least they were when I guess the team first started forming. Generally an SMG favoured map, and we've seen less of these go to time lately than certainly we did a few weeks ago. The controls both go the way of Boston though to kind of decide the series in their favour. This also though we didn't talk about from yesterday, where just after, I'm pretty sure, maybe just before, Boston scrimmed against London and lost 5-1. They pretty much dominate the Florida Mutineers. So interesting stuff. Florida a weird team, honestly, because you know, they look pretty good at the kickoff for a little bit. They beat LAG pretty comfortably. They played Toronto, got beaten pretty resoundingly, but then Toronto kept getting better and better for the rest of the tourney. Boston were looking really good in this one, so not really sure what to exactly make of this. It you know, it's tough to read into all this stuff too much. Just exciting really for the season to get underway in, I think, a week or so, yeah, a week's time from today, right, on the next Friday. That's when the first matches officially kick off. I believe Boston are playing on that Friday as well. This then from Paddy P comes out with last night. A cracking statement really, just looking back at well, his time in Call of Duty, what he's going to be up to next. Chapter 1 is done, Chapter 2 begins now. So I was always kind of surprised that Aix didn't like officially retire. I know this is still small for you guys, so let me just make it slightly more centralized. There we go. Okay, cool. So that should be as readable as I could really make it. But yeah, you know, it was kind of surprising that he, well, played Call of Duty in the Modern Warfare days. He started on Los Angeles Guerrillas, apparently managed to finesse a pretty fantastic contract, despite the fact that he wasn't a particularly good player on the game. They benched him eventually, and I think he just sat there trading crypto for the rest of the year, raking in like 300k or whatever he got paid for that season. So he finessed it pretty well. Hasn't really done that much the last couple of years. Been kind of well, been out of the public spotlight, to be honest. Now he's coming back as the co-host for The Flank. Just a phenomenal career. If you guys haven't been around too long, like, this guy was the ultimate villain back in the day against the OpTic guys. A fantastic player really around the Black Ops 2 Ghosts era. Won so many tournaments on Complexity and Evil Geniuses after that as well. And then the highlight of his career, really, at least in my opinion, yes, he won the World Championship in 2014 on Complexity and Ghosts, but then he comes back 4 years later on Evil Geniuses in World War II and wins the World Championship again. Completely, you know, very much unexpected. One of the craziest World Championship runs of all time. And, you know, from that performance, really, in a 4 versus 4 boots on the ground type game, going into the coming years on Modern Warfare and the like, he still managed to get a good spot and all this type of stuff. So, yeah, 2-time world champion, legendary player, talks a little bit about his career. But, well, this is kind of what he's up to next. Over the last year or so, with this influx of newfound time, I learned a lot about myself, my interests, my goals, and got to dive into playing a lot of other games. Most recently, though, over the last few months, I've been consulting with a studio on a new AAA title in development. I consulted on multiple games in the past, but this was a much different experience for me, and I could almost tell immediately. Today, however, I'm extremely happy to announce that I've accepted a position to go full-time on the dev team as a game designer with esports in mind. I believe this unique opportunity for me to share a different perspective when it comes to multiple aspects of the game. Can't go into much detail just yet, I suppose we'll see. Also confirming as well what we already know, that he's going to be co-hosting the flank for this season. So this thing about the new AAA title, very interesting, right? Because you'd imagine it's an FPS game. Some people have been speculating, and understandably so, that Dr. Disrespect said maybe a month or so ago, he's starting a new studio, like he's starting his own game development studio and working on a new title. Now, of course, this could be nothing to do with it, but you'd think if they wanted someone in, like Paddy P from at least the FPS kind of first-person shooter type genre, would be the perfect guy to bring in, especially if it's, going to be played on controller or whatever. Like, even on PC, like, I'm sure Aix would definitely give some viable input. He certainly did to previous Call of Duty games when they actually sometimes listen to the pro players. So he says right here, like, hey, Peg, is it related to the doc? He says, me and the doc are not related, although I wouldn't mind the additional hype boost, but it doesn't necessarily unconfirm that, it might be related to Doc's competitive studio, which might be what this is. I guess we shall stay tuned on this front. Exciting stuff, no doubt. This also from Scump, right, because he's come out the last couple of days. There's been a fair bit of talk from the OpTic guys, exactly what went wrong against Los Angeles Thieves at the kickoff, what they need to change. Scump has a few words here really on how he kind of underperformed individually. I thought it was interesting what he had to say. He feels like he wasn't particularly comfortable there on the main stage for whatever reason, like had some jitters the first couple of maps, bit nervous really, I guess, for the first time playing on front of a crowd like this in quite some time, to be honest. So definitely how things go, I suppose, at the kickoff. But yeah, the first couple of maps, not ideal by any means. The search and destroy as well, he says he was really nervous about dropping the donut, tried. He got to the point he was like 0-4, 0-5, and thankfully Drazah ran past him on that search and destroy, and he managed to get away with it. And yeah, he feels like he turned up the last couple of maps. Not his best series by any means, and he's frustrated for the OpTic fans that had to deal with that, I suppose, but also he's most frustrated at his own performance, right, and intends to turn things around for the season.
That was probably the worst I've seen you play. Nah, honestly, like, I've had worse series than that. I just played really bad the first two maps. Like, third map, I played all right. I actually played pretty good third map. Fourth map, I played, like, I would say average for the most part. The first two maps, though, I was in La La Land, dude. Like, I'm just flat out saying, I was just in La La. I was just sprinting. I wasn't like pre-aiming that I'm supposed to. I wasn't taking my time. I was just sprinting. I was pretty disappointed in the way that I played. I was thinking about tweeting something along those lines, but I mean, it doesn't really do anything. I was pretty pissed off with how I played. I didn't really feel like I played even like anywhere near what I was capable of. Obviously, I mean, I had a pretty first two maps. I don't really know why that was. I was jittery. I felt like I was really antsy. I was like running it a lot. I just didn't have like a good rhythm going into the match. But I was just really uncomfortable during the match. Which, yeah, I mean, give credit to Thieves. I mean, they played great, but I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like I played good. I was pretty pissed off. Was I scared of the donut? Oh, dude, I was terrified of the donut. I was like, I got shot in the side or got killed off bomb every round. So the last round, I'm just like, dude, I'm going to sit in a corner and I'm going to pray to God they go B and try to lay the bomb. And thank God Drazah just ran out in front of me. I was losing composure. But like I said, we'll be running things back. Losing is learning, ladies and gentlemen. We learned a lot. I was upset. I mean, yeah, I can imagine. And that, I mean, I obviously feel bad. You know, I hate when the fans are upset. You know, they want to see us play more. But think about how we feel. Like, you know, we were also pretty upset. I was really upset. I'm not going to lie.
So I thought some of the things he said were in a way surprising, just because, you know, it's a kickoff event. I didn't really think the pressure would be too high. But then again, playing Envoy, playing Los Angeles Thieves in general, there's always going to be some pressure on that matchup, of course, in front of fans. And, well, first game on this game, back on the main stage, right, in quite some time. I suppose it makes sense. But, yeah, OpTic is certainly going to have to change some things, I suppose, going into the start of the regular season. Of course, they're changing who's going to be sniping on their team. Just Octane was, of course, having their way in the previous game. Just wanted to look real quick at which games OpTic are playing first up in their match schedule, right, for the upcoming upcoming season. So, well, this begins, I'm pretty sure, I mean, you might be able to see the dates here on the left-hand side just about, yeah, probably just about. So, yeah, February the 4th, that's of course a week's time today on Friday. That's when the first games get underway. So, OpTic play first of all on the Saturday. They play London on the Saturday. Then on the Sunday, they play Minnesota Rokkr. So, they've kind of got a back-to-back schedule right here. Pretty cool to see. I mean, they've got 2 games in the same weekends, 2 games on back-to-back days. Like, I just like generally how things are slightly more condensed this year, because last year it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, there was also the Thursday, right? So some people would play Thursday and then Sunday, like it was super spread out. Whereas now it feels like quite a condensed, not like a tournament weekends, but still it's more condensed into just 3 days. I think that'll help teams that are very momentum based like OpTic, and generally they have a pretty straightforward start. You would think against London and Minnesota compared to some of the other teams they could play, because you look at some of these teams brackets, like New York for example, they play Seattle first up. That's not exactly going to be easy. Like Toronto for example also plays Seattle first game, so there's some teams that have difficult starts. You'd think London should be achievable here, but I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure that the rest of their games, they play Paris next after this as well. Then towards the end of the stage on the 18th, they play Toronto. Their matches definitely get more difficult towards the end. They play Boston last time on the 20th, but yeah, these of course the qualification matches for the major on, I'm pretty sure, the 3rd of March it begins in, of course, Texas, Arlington, all that type of good stuff. Just wanted to touch on this as well, actually, because Clayster tweeted this out yesterday. How has nobody started an HLTV VLR equivalent for Call of Duty yet? So HLTV.org, if you guys aren't familiar with it, or VLR.gg if you're familiar with Valorant, but HLTV has kind of been the gold standard of match coverage really for Counter-Strike. Statistics is all phenomenal on there. They've got news, all this type of stuff as well. This is kind of what we tried to do with Breaking Point, and we're certainly getting there. It just gets really frustrating, to be honest, that there's no, like, for Counter-Strike, I'm pretty sure there's a public API, so you can go in and, like, just anyone can access all the stats for all the matches and use them on your own website. Whereas in Call of Duty, that's not the case, right? I'm pretty sure there is an API of all the stats that come out. The CDL has them, and I think they can use them for their own stuff, but they don't allow it to be used publicly, right? So all the stats we track, we have to do it all manually in our own spreadsheets and stuff, which is one of the reasons why we haven't quite, I guess, hit the levels what HLTV's been able to achieve so far. But I suppose we're getting there. Just a frustrating thing, but I guess Activision doesn't like to, release public API and stuff. But other games have done, and to generally good success for the I guess the enjoyment of the community in general. Interesting one for sure. I just wanted to finish this out really from Kenny. We did look at this yesterday, right? Los Angeles Thieves had the great content. They did episode 3 last night, which is kind of like a CTF game. It's funny seeing these guys run around, to be honest. Like, the stamina might not be the greatest, and Kenny's just been getting like rolled in every single game he's played so far. Went to have this one pretty early on, which I thought was pretty funny, honestly, at the end of the day. And here he goes, like Rampage just spots him straight up, and yeah, he just has to wander off and take the L straight away. But very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button. Tell us the YouTube gods this is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.